Hi there, this is Mike Rogers. I want to talk to you today about being arrested. How does it come about that someone can be arrested for a criminal offense? First of all, and what normally occurs is that someone is observed violating some provision of the penal code by a law enforcement officer, or someone observes a person violating the law and they call 911 and law enforcement goes to a scene, and then an arrest occurs. That is the primary way that people wind up getting arrested. However, that's not the only way. There are instances when there is a report of a crime that requires an investigation. And sometimes these investigations can take a long period of time. This happens frequently involving outcries of sexual abuse, either involving a child or an adult. There's not always a quick ability on the part of law enforcement to get a warrant issued by a magistrate. That's required in those situations. There has to be a showing to a judge of some kind, municipal judge or justice of the peace, someone with authority to look at the facts and to determine whether or not there's at least probable cause for a warrant to be issued for someone to be arrested. So those are the two primary ways that people wind up getting arrested for some criminal offense. What happens when the arrest occurs is something that you as an individual need to know and understand, in the sense that if you are arrested, always remain silent. The Miranda warnings are supposed to be given to someone once they are arrested, but until they are arrested, the police would be able to ask questions without giving the Miranda warnings. But once a person is not free to leave at that point, Miranda warnings have to be given. But the rule of thumb is always do not talk. I could give you so many examples of people, in effect, giving away information that either they admit it or they give information that would lead to other evidence that would get them convicted of some offense. So don't ever admit to anything. Don't give information to anybody. Any law enforcement officer, don't do it, because it will come back to haunt you at a later time. So I hope that you never have the experience of being arrested, but if you are, the cardinal rule is you do not speak with a law enforcement officer either before the arrest or certainly not after the arrest. Don't do it, because you have a right not to do so, and you need to be able to exercise that right, and it can't be held against you. So don't think, well, if I don't tell them what they want to know, they're going to think I'm guilty. Well, it doesn't matter whether they think you're guilty. You just do not want to cooperate to the point where you're going to incriminate yourself either directly or indirectly on some matter. Hope you don't need to worry about this in the future, but hopefully this information will help you if you ever get into that situation.